If you were at the 2012 and or the 2014 Athlete Conference, you might remember we used the session after lunch to provide recommendations towards SOPA's next I can say it. Strategic plan. This year, SOPA just began the first year of its new 5-year strategic plan. As a result, we decided the best use of everyone's time would be to discuss the second and third place topics from the Athlete Congress Priority Survey. Before we get into that, however, let's take a step back to 2015 Leadership Conference. Some of you may have been in attendance at our Athlete Leadership Celebration of Achievement, where all athletes in attendance had the opportunity to just suggest potential topics to be included in the Athlete Congress Priority Survey. After receiving 18 potential topics, the RIC narrowed it down to 10. Athlete leaders not receiving appropriate information from their local programs following completion of Athlete Leadership University training. Athlete leaders in smaller programs not receiving enough state-level leadership opportunities. Guidelines to how local program funds are being used. Mainstream application for participation in other important forums. Our mock priority from yesterday, social media strategies. Transportation to and from practices and competition. Increased family involvement. Recruitment of athletes and volunteers. Improving the national and world game selection processes. Last but not least, our priority from this morning, increased athlete and participation at competitions. After leadership conference, it was eventually decided that the first 5 topics were best to be managed by the appropriate SOPA staff. The other 5 were then voted on by athletes all over the state this past summer. Direct, Ernie and I agreed that this time would be best used to discuss the second and third place priorities because we did not get a chance to start discussion in the 2014 Athlete Congress runner-up until 2015. In this session, each breakout group will be reported out on 2 goals and action steps for 2 different questions. One athlete representative will report out on question number 1, and another athlete representative will report out on question number 2. There will be no voted for these topics, as these are priorities for the RIC in 2017. Group 1 and 2 can be found on the PowerPoint presentation and within your binder on the handout titled Athlete Congress Breakout Groups. Finishing in second place was improvement of national and world game selections. In the priority survey, many athletes said that they were unsure why they didn't get selected to compete in any of the recent national or world games, even though they got a gold at state competitions that were labeled as a qualifier events. A lot of people might not know that the selection processes policy is not determined by SOPA, but rather than Special Olympics International, which in turn is enforced by SOPA and all the other Special Olympics programs around the world. One or 2 years prior to each national and world games, SOPA state competitions are served as a qualifier. SOPA has 4 state competitions each year, and they are Winter Games, the State Floor Hockey Tournament, Summer Games, and Fall Festival. Prior to those, each athlete must tell their coach that they wish to opt in to be drawn if they win gold. Another important part of national world game selection are the allocations. Each state or country is allocated a certain number of athletes to go to national or world games. Expenses such as transportation, meals, housing, uniforms, and other important needs is a big factor when it comes to how many allocations each state or country requests. Not every spot might be allocated for due to the reasons or other states or countries don't have enough athletes to send to national or world games in a sport to have meaningful competition. Once athletes have opted in and allocations are confirmed, each gold medal winner from the sports being allocated is placed into a hat for a drawing. A certain number of names are drawn from the hat, plus alternates in case the ones selected first are unable to go. This topic will be discussed by Group 1, led by Mike, Stevens, and Nina. The two questions for this topic are, why are the athletes questioned in the Special Olympics International Selection Process policy? And what are ways in which we can educate athletes, volunteers about the Special Olympics International Selection Policy, how to opt in to being selected in allocations and the drawing process. Finishing in third place was the recruitment of athletes and volunteers. In the priority survey, many athletes said that in order to run the sport, local programs need enough athletes, interest, and enough volunteers to serve as coaches. As athlete representatives, we serve in both roles as athletes and volunteers and understand the importance of recruiting both. Currently, local program leaders and athlete leaders from each program speak to groups that they believe will be potential athletes and volunteers. Other popular methods of recruiting athletes and volunteers are through social media, TV and radio, print ads, community fundraisers, and social events, and much more. This topic will be discussed by Group 2, led by Tim Spence, Mary Nigro, and Mike Baker. For this topic, the two questions are, what are some athlete-led strategic strategies for recruiting athletes? And what are some athlete-led strategies for recruiting volunteers? So now we can break down to the two groups. So group two's in here, group 1's next door.